Positive Parenting Today. I'm Jacqueline Muñiz from the Children's Services Council of Palm Beach County, your host for today's show. The concept of Touchpoints is a different approach to thinking about child development. It is a theory based on the work of Dr. T. Barry Brazelton, world-renowned expert in pediatrics and child development. Dr. Brazelton states that there are 8 touch points of child development in the first year of a child's life beginning prenatally. At the 4-month touch point, parents are feeling more confident in their role because they have learned their baby's cues. The relationship between parent and child is becoming more intense and their bond stronger. Parents exude pride as they watch their baby master a new skill for the first time. Cheryl Jacobs, a registered nurse specialist, returns to the homes of the Rolstons and the Bridgers to check in with them and listen as they share their experiences parenting at the 4-month touch point. The 4-month-old is beginning to take an interest in the world around him as he experiences a developmental burst in cognitive skills. Feeding becomes a distraction as he experiences new sights and sounds.
So it's great to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
You as well.
And look at this baby.
Yeah, huh?
He's staring at me.
Yeah, he's locked in.
Are you locked in? Yes. Yeah. Are you back to work?
I'm back to work, so it has been tough.
So is that a little bit more challenging?
It is, because I noticed that I find myself, I'm a little bit more fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And he's looking at you?
Yes, he definitely knows
like
Mama.
He's in love with you. Absolutely. But you heard my voice, so you wanted to see what was going on. Yeah. So how about the feeds? Do you find him eating the way he always did when he's taking his bottle, or do you find that he's easily distracted now by other things that are going on in the room?
No, I think
he's focused on food.
He's focused on food.
He loves food.
He loves
to eat, yeah, and so that's his...
So when he sees that bottle, what happens?
Oh, he gets...
Oh, he kicks. Because we feed him cereal, that rice cereal, and he'll kick, and, you just kind of have to...
Yeah, as you're trying to feed him, you have to, it's kind of like a game, because you have to kind of dodge punches and kicks, and... Yeah, it's like trying to feed Bruce Lee.
So after you've been gone all day, what do you think he's thinking when you guys come back? What do you think the baby's feeling when he sees you at the end of the day?
Oh, I think happy. Do they even know that you're gone? Do they even have that?
I don't know.
Because every time he sees us, he lights up and smiles.
So
and
you think he's
Big
feeling
smile.
really happy when he sees you by smiling and letting you know?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a real smiley guy.
Look at him. Look in your
Real
face,
happy.
Mom.
Mm-hmm.
So when you guys are gone to work in the daytime, what do you find that you miss the most about him when you're gone in the day?
I find, he's just now starting to kind of talk in his own little baby talk. So, him talking, and he has these little outbursts of a laugh that just, it makes me laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he smiles all the time. And that's what I really miss.
That's what you really miss.
Yeah. So, but I try to be home a good bit because I go and I work here from home in the morning, and then I just have to go to work for only about 5-6 hours, and then I come home right after that, and so yeah, I rework things to try to spend as much time around the house at least as possible. Even if I'm here working, at least he's in the room and
he can hear your voice.
Yeah.
And see you.
Yeah, and I'll take a break every little bit and go and play with him for a little while.
What a great thing.
Yeah.
So nice to have dads that are engaged. And do you think he looks at you and Mom differently as far as what he expects from you?
Probably. He's probably, I don't know if he's to that stage yet, but he's probably going to notice that he'll get more of the nurturing from his mom, and that she's the one that will put him on the chest and pat him, and Dad's more the fun guy. So yeah, I'm around for the good times.
So you're the playmate.
I'm the playmate.
And
I'm the good time guy.
she's the enforcer.
Yeah, she's the enforcer. Yeah. Yeah.
I see in a lot of families that happens. Mom's at home, or mom's doing the caregiving around what needs to be done, feeding and bathing and all those essential things. And when Dad comes home, the baby's like, my playmate's here.
It's all fun times, yeah.
It's fun time.
Yeah, I'm a good time guy.
Yeah. So when he's playing with Dad, do you feel left out at all, or how do you?
No, that's when I take advantage of that time, and I start to get a lot of things done. But there are other things that because now that he's starting to eat normal food, we are are starting to make our own food. So we'll buy the organic like beans, and then we'll steam them, and then puree them, and then that's what we're now starting to feed them. So that takes a lot of time as well.
It sure does. But what a great thing you're doing for your baby. And he looks just like he's so happy and relaxed, and he's growing. How is he with other people?
Oh, he's great. He's used to chaos and commotion and people, and it doesn't bother him at all.
So you don't see any what we call stranger anxiety yet, where if someone else would pick him up, he might get...
No.
Just to give you guys a little heads up, that's going to change soon. Okay, when he gets to be about 5 months old, in a couple of weeks, or maybe 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to see a change happen. And he's going to be more specific about if it's okay to be with somebody or not. So he'll start checking in with you. Like if I were to pick him up, he'll look at you to see, is this okay?
Oh, okay.
Because he knows who's important to him.
Right.
And it's you, your family.
Right.
And when a stranger picks him up, he'll be checking in with you to say, is this okay? Is this person okay?
That's what
And that's like some social referencing.
Right.
And he may get a little bit of anxiety around who picks him up. Because I won't hold the same, I don't smell the same, I don't have the same voice, and he'll be able to say, this is not the same. And, and this is the person that I look to that's important to me. So I'm going to check in with you too and find out, is this okay?
Okay.
So you'll start seeing that happen, and pretty soon, pretty soon. Wow, the way he just takes in the world.
He does,
He's really looking outward and taking in his whole environment. And
he does.
Seeing what's going on.
He looks and plugs into a lot of things.
Yeah. Yes, you do. I see that. Wonder how we would do if I picked him up. Is it okay if we'll try?
Yeah.
Let's try. Hey, baby Cannon. Wow, I need to start working out. You're quite
He's 16 pounds.
heavy little guy.
He does love to eat.
He took a nice big sigh, like when I picked him up, like, okay. Yes, you are. Whoops, whoopsie doodle. Yeah, what do you think? Is it okay if other people hold you? And other people talk to you? What are you thinking? You're checking me out. Yes, you are. What a big boy. Yes. Just checking with you, Mom.
Yeah.
See, I'm checking with you, Dad.
Yeah.
He hasn't smiled yet. What do you think about the look on his face right now?
It's kind of like, it's kind of like he's trying to seek some type of signal or something.
He's puzzled.
Yeah.
So what do you get from the cues that he gives you? Are you able to tell by the sounds he's making and his cries pretty much what his needs are?
Yeah, you can hear like little grunts, and you can tell that he kind of wants something to change. He either wants something, or he wants to move, or he's there's something going on. So it's kind of like little stages of him getting close to a cry. So it's kind of like a little warning grunt.
Okay. What are you thinking? Yes, I'm waiting to see some recognition from you if I'm okay. And I haven't seen it yet. I was waiting. But Mom and Dad know your face better. So do you think he's shown a little bit of stranger anxiety maybe?
Looks like he's trying to talk.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've never really seen him ever shy away from a person or really seem to be timid. He'll just kind of have that look, like he's very mellow. Like to him, everything's okay.
All right. All right. I'll give you back to Mom and Dad, the people you're in love with, huh? Yes. Yes.
He's in love with whoever has the
I'm curious to see
food.
next time when I come in a couple months if we see any of the stranger anxiety and the social referencing starting, to see, how he's reacting, because those are normal developmental stages that he's going to start going through. So how is bedtime?
It's been tough a little. It's a little tough, especially like with the twins. They had a set time. They're in bed 8 o'clock, or that was it. Actually, like 7:30 for them. But he kind of dictates his own schedule. I know that's terrible, but we'll usually keep him up till we see him like this, and then and I just found out when we took him to the doctor that you're supposed to put him in his bed crib awake, Like we always rock him to sleep and, you know, soothe him. And then once he fell asleep, then we'll place him in there like on our tippy toes and stuff like that. So, but I was reading the thing at the doctor, and it said to put him in his crib awake. So last night was actually the first time that he went in his crib, you know, awake. So,
and what happened?
he kind of like he talked a little bit, and then he fell asleep.
Have you noticed that he goes through different stages of sleep, like deep sleep and light sleep? Can you tell the difference
I
with
do,
that?
because he seems to be very, he's like a rough sleeper, like he moves a lot.
Babies, when they first go to sleep, the first few hours of their sleep, they go into a light sleep and deep sleep, like every hour. And then further into the night, they'll go into like every 3 or 4 hours, light sleep, deep sleep. Similar to what we do. But when babies get a little bit older, like in a few weeks, you're going to see that he's going to wake up a lot at night because all his motor skills are starting to develop and his cognitive skills are starting to develop, are going to wake him up at night.
It's changed in about the last week to 2. He used to do a pretty good job of sleeping through the night, and now
things are changing.
He's getting to the point where, it's like you put him down, he'll maybe be down, 2-3 hours maybe, and then he'll start moving around.
And it seems like right when we're ready for bed, like, you know, by the time I'm winding down like 10, 11 o'clock, and then I lay down and I hear like a little noise, I'm like, oh, no.
Right.
I just want to go to sleep.
It's tough for you when you have to go to work the next day, I know. So it could be one of 2 things where he is right now, because he's not quite 5 months old. It could be that he has been falling asleep on you. So then when you put him down, when he comes into the light sleep, he wants to get back on you to get back to sleep. That's what your pediatrician was telling you. If you can put him down awake, then when he comes to the light sleep and he wakes up in his crib, he'll go, okay, I know where I am. This is okay. I can put myself back down. So it could be that transition you're working on now, or it could be the developmental part, because they get bursts in motor skills and cognitive now, and it starts affecting their sleep and their feeding time.
Interesting.
The central nervous system kind of gives them a ding when they come in that light sleep at night, and then they kind of come up and they want to kind of practice what they were learning in the daytime. And you'll see that more and more when more skills start to develop. And then once he completely masters that skill, he'll go back and hit a plateau and sleep really good maybe for a month or 6 weeks. And then when he starts to work on another skill, say getting in the crawling position or pulling up or those types of things, you'll see him start waking up at night to practice.
Yeah, it's all kind of like coincided with just in the last, since his sleep has changed. He now is kind of like getting himself in the crawling position. He holds his head up. And he'll make it from this side of the sofa to that side. It's kind of a weird, it's like he's like this and he's like dragging himself with his chin, but it takes him a little while, but he actually does it. He'll push himself up and then that kind of like weird awkward thing, but he's been doing that. And then Kim said just today for the first time he started sucking his thumb, so that was something new that we noticed just right away.
So it sounds like you can see a change in the motor skills.
Yeah,
and that might coincide with the waking up.
There was a lot of changes with his sleep, so.
Because some parents worry that, they have everything sort of mastered with the child, where he's eating good, he's sleeping good, and they have it all together. Then when the baby starts waking up at night, they think, oh, what's wrong? I had this together. And they think it's something that they did, but it's really about development. It's development. It plays a big part in that waking up at night and really getting focused when they start to learn to pull up and stand up at a table or walk. They don't want to eat. They don't want to sleep. They're just too busy trying to master the skill, and they just like they have tunnel vision.
Focus.
And they won't engage with you. They're just like, no, don't bother me. I'm learning how to stand up.
He looks very proud of himself when he's up there,
And so that's great.
Yeah.
And I know you guys are cheering him on.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for letting me come back and see baby Cannon and you. And it looks like the family's doing well.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd like to see you guys again in a couple months.
Okay.
That'd be
see
great.
What's progressing.
Sounds good.
Okay.
At 4 months, a baby's central nervous system has matured, giving her the ability to sleep for longer periods. Sleeping rituals become important, and parents must decide on the role they will play in helping their baby learn to sleep on her own and comfort herself.
So, hey guys, it's good to see you guys again.
Great to see you too.
Great.
And look at Annabelle.
I know. She's a big girl, huh?
She is a big girl.
She's growing up fast on us.
She is. Annabelle. Annabelle. Hi, Annabelle. So nice to see you.
The hiccups she's had forever.
Yeah.
She still has hiccups every day.
It's real common after they eat. Did you notice more after she
Yes.
eats? Yeah.
Yeah.
All babies do that. Annabelle.
Annabelle.
Now she's interested in something else.
She's
There's
always
a
looking
mirror
around.
up there.
So what's it been like for you guys? I think I saw her when she was about a month old. Now she's
Right.
3 months old. So what's been happening?
It's a lot more fun now.
Oh, good.
I mean, I thought it was fun before, but now it's really fun.
Oh, good.
You know, it was overwhelming and then occasionally fun, and now it's more fun than not. So, because she's smiling and she's even does this little, it's almost like an excited little shriek, which is kind of cute.
So she's starting to interact with you.
Right.
In a social way. You see some socialization going on.
Definitely.
And how does she communicate with you? Like now, what do you think she's telling us?
A change of position.
Yeah, maybe
for
bored.
She's bored.
Maybe I'm bored.
Hey, pumpkin. Hi.
Hey.
Or give me a toy, or
Uh-oh.
Straight into the mouth.
everything goes into her mouth.
Into her mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you find happens when she puts her hand in her mouth then? Does she calm down a little bit? Is that what she uses to calm herself down? Or
Sometimes
Usually,
that helps, yeah. I mean, she doesn't take a pacifier or anything.
Right.
She just likes to stick stuff in there. All right. Oh, goodness.
sounds like you
Change
know
of scenery.
a lot about what she's trying to tell
Change of
you.
scenery.
Well, we've had 3 months, so
Yeah.
it's no longer everything's brand new for us. That's what's making things a little easier, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in the first month it's just I'm trying to survive here, right?
Yes.
Feeding and is she getting enough? And I'm not getting enough sleep, and everybody's trying to survive. So now do you find that you're starting to look more towards your own schedules and work and those kinds of things?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's easier. It just doesn't seem like I have to stop and think about everything.
Right.
Sort of becoming a little more, everyday or commonplace a little bit, which is nice. Yeah.
Because you can probably tell from the cues that she gives you what she wants. Pretty much, she pretty much knows.
And she's sleeping longer at night, which helps.
Right,
Just makes everything easier during the day.
Because when you're rested, then you have better coping skills, right?
But she's getting older, and we're getting back out into the world, I guess, because she's had her shots and realizing that we don't get to. Everything takes about 10 times as long to do with her as it used to.
Right.
Like a 3-hour road trip is 8 hours.
5.
We wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does
It
make
just takes long.
It makes
it
a
just takes
difference.
everything. It just takes longer.
It does.
Just have to leave a little bit earlier. And,
Yeah. So is feeding more in a schedule for you now? The feedings are
Yeah,
more
she's
scheduled?
like every 3 hours. We're still doing every 3
Wow.
hours, and that seems to work well. And except at night, And last night she slept for 8 hours.
Oh, wow, Annabelle, your mom
Yeah.
is so lucky,
It's
huh?
exciting, but that is the first time that's happened. It's been
Yeah.
6 hours and then up, and then 3 more hours.
Right.
So she goes back to 3.
Do you find that when she goes from an awake state where she's awake and alert and going into that I'm getting sleepy state, does she cry before she goes to sleep, or if you just lay her down in the crib she'll go to sleep, or
Well,
what
that's
kind of
what we
happens
need your
around
help
that?
with.
I don't know.
Because she fusses when she gets sleepy,
Okay.
and she wants to be walked.
Okay.
But she's like more than 15 pounds. So I
it's
didn't
kind of
mind at first. I would just walk her around for 5 or 10 minutes and she'd fall asleep, and then I'd put her down.
Right.
But now I realize I need to be able to put her in the crib and let her fall to sleep.
Right.
And
She
It's
doesn't
very
do that.
hard. It's a
Which-
very hard thing to do.
right. And so sometimes if I get her really drowsy, then I can put her down and sort of pat her, and she will. But most of the time
It's
I
a
have to
hard
walk
thing.
her, and then she
Right.
falls asleep, and then I put her
Right.
down.
Are you going to go back to work soon, Mom?
I am in a couple of weeks.
How's that for you?
Well,
what are you thinking?
That's another thing I'm thinking about, is that the daycare we have for her, and they're not going to be able to, I don't think, to walk her every time to get her
Right.
to sleep. So I don't want that to be a rude awakening for her. So I want to do something in the next couple of weeks
Right.
to help make that an easier transition.
Easier transition.
Yeah. So
That's very smart on your part to understand that they can't always hold the babies all the time.
right.
In daycare.
So
So you were telling me earlier about daycare. What's going on with the daycare?
well, we have a place that we felt really good about, and then the closer it comes to the day to actually take her and drop her off, I'm just getting more nervous. And I know it's a good place, and I know a lot of people who have gone there, and a lot of babies, and our pediatrician says it's great. And But I woke up the morning I was going to take her for a trial run, and that morning the director called and said that some of the babies were sick and the nurse was sick and they had fevers, and that's going to happen anywhere. But it just made me think, oh no.
Right.
So then we thought maybe about having someone come to the house. So we were just, we need to make that final decision.
But then you run into the same question of, well, you want to expose them to as much as possible now so that over their life they're actually more healthy because they develop their immune system better.
For the first year the baby's alive and you're breastfeeding, especially, the baby's going to have a lot of immunity. After the first year, she'll have to start developing more of her own immunity. So, I can't tell you what's the best thing to do. It has to be what's best for you.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Annabelle, would you let me, you think she would let me hold her?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
How does she do with other people?
She loves other people.
She loves
really
other
does.
people?
Yeah, she had.
Annabelle, I don't know, 15 pounds.
Yeah,
I should
that's a stretch.
have
Sorry
worked
about
out
that.
this morning. I should have worked. Oh, aren't you beautiful? And she stands so nicely. Look at those strong legs. Look at those strong legs.
She's trying.
Oh, yeah. Let me get a better hold on your dress. I don't want to drop you. And you see my mic and you're thinking you might like to get it. Yeah, she's a strong girl. Strong girl. And you were saying that she can turn over already?
She's rolling over.
That's amazing.
She's rolling over, and so that's another dilemma. She rolls over at night, and then I check on her, and she's on her stomach, and they say you're supposed to put babies to sleep on their backs. So I flip her back over, and I probably went in there like 8 times one night.
Right.
Flipping her back over, and I don't know if that's really realistic.
But now we just kind of lay her on her back, but she's gonna.
Yeah, she has
She can pick
control
her head
now.
up enough so like
Right.
when her face is straight down, she can actually pick it up and lay it
Turn it
down.
to the side, so it makes you feel a little better.
I think so.
Yeah, but there comes a point in time when they have their free will to move the way they want, and,
Right.
and that's kind of scary for parents,
Right.
because and pretty soon she's going to be doing more things
Right.
on her own, and
I
you
know.
guys will have less control. And how will that be for you? Do you think?
For him, fine. I don't.
And for you?
Well, what are you gonna do? That's
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Have to try to be excited for them.
Yeah.
But now that she's rolling over in the crib, she bonks her head on the side of the crib, which then that breaks my heart. But I
Right.
didn't put the crib bumpers up because, some people said they could suffocate.
Right.
Well, now she's hitting her head, so you can
But her
kind of
head's hard most of it.
Yeah,
you can kind of get crazy.
yeah. It's
trying
from
to
all the
figure-
advice you get from other people. Sometimes you don't know what to do.
Right.
And all new moms feel like this, so don't feel that it's odd for you to feel this way. This is a normal thing for moms to think about. Who spends the most time in her caregiving?
Oh, Amy.
Well, I've been home with her, until she's 4 months. So I'll be home with her during the day.
That's
So, and then Ryan.
And Ryan?
Does her evening routine, does the bath for her in the evening. And,
Oh,
Then on
Yeah.
the weekends, it's whatever we're doing that weekend.
Right.
we do together.
I try to help him
Yeah.
take a little bit of the load off on the weekends
He does.
so
He's-
she can have a little reprieve.
Yeah, he's kind of mostly we're together, but he'll do the diapers and
Yeah.
everything, so I can kind of relax a little.
Do you ever feel, Ryan, that maybe mom is more in tune with the cue sometimes? Like if you're trying to figure out what she wants, does mom ever say, oh, I know what she wants?
Oh, yes. And she typically does. I mean,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I think
I'm around her enough that I have a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
But she changes all the time, so it's like Amy knows of new things she's doing that I haven't seen yet
Yeah.
or something. And
Yeah.
so it's fun, but whether it's the first time she did it or not, it's the first time I've seen it, so
Right.
it's still exciting.
Yeah. As far as her try to socializing with you or talking to you, her language to you, is it different with you being the caregiver than dad?
She talks a lot, and she'll talk to either one of us. I think, she coos and she's ooh, especially in the mornings. And she'll do that with him just as well as she will with me. But the one thing I have noticed is even when he's holding her, she wants to know where I am. She's always looking at me.
Right.
And she
So, dad's okay, but I need
But
to
I know
stay
where
and
my
check
mom
with
is.
my
There's
mom.
my mom.
Right, right.
does, which is nice.
Yeah. How, is that okay for you, Dad?
It's great. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm glad that they're bonding.
Do you find that you both were just so in love with her that you have any gatekeeping issues? Or like, do you know what I mean by that?
Well, maybe
I'm not sure what.
I read about that, and maybe
Yeah.
maybe a little. I
A
mean, I
little.
don't think it's really out of control, but like I think it like if he's doing something and I don't think he's doing it the right way.
You both have so much love and passion for the child that you both think you're right and what you think needs to be done.
Right.
So it'll put you at odds with each other sometimes.
We're pretty equal with that sometimes. I mean, sometimes you'll...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say, yeah, because you're like, it's a matter of like, I don't know, I guess in the time you think it's a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
So you're like, this is what needs to happen. And then you realize that maybe there's more than one way to do it.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
quickly gets resolved typically.
That's great.
Yeah, it hasn't, yeah.
It sounds like you guys have a lot of good give and take between each other.
Right, and we, you try to realize we're both going for the same goal here.
Yeah.
So.
We have different personalities, and that comes out. I mean, he's meticulous with the diaper. I mean, every little piece, which is great. And sometimes I'll just slap it on, but honestly, it leaks when I do it. So he probably has the better
So
one.
Daddy puts on anti-leak diapers? That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
We all try, but
Yeah. She's holding
she
it today.
seems to break the seal most of the
Yeah.
often, don't you, Anna?
Yeah.
He does.
So does that mean it's time for me to give you back? Huh? Were you about to break the seal?
You want to make sure.
Yeah. I'll let her go back to you. Okay. Well, are there anything you guys, any questions you guys have for me about what's going to come up like in the next couple months around her care, or what do you expect from her as far as development, or?
Well, like somebody was saying, because like she was rolling over now, and they're like, oh, and then she'll be rocking, and I forgot what they said next. So like, I guess I really have no idea what comes next. She'll teach us, I guess.
She'll let you know.
But maybe,
she'll let you know.
is that how it works?
Yeah,
And
we
then,
kind of
then they get up and start rocking, and then crawling, I guess.
Well, when we look at development, it's really multidimensional because we see the things that she's doing that are physical, but also language is forming. She's forming a relationship, and having that give and take with you about the way she's communicating with you. There's so many things that are going on at once.
Oh, I gotcha.
So it's not just about motor skills.
Sure.
But sometimes people only just see that. So they think, well, first they sit up, and then they hold their head, and then they get up on all fours. But a lot of things are going on. And she'll just, let you know what she's ready to do. But something that will happen down the road pretty soon is, you said she slept all night last night?
Yeah.
Well, she may start sleeping all night, for like a month or two, and then all of a sudden she'll start waking up at night.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And that's all about
Don't
development.
listen,
That's
don't
all about development. Because when she sleeps for that 3 hours, just like we do, she goes into a deep sleep and a light sleep. Do you ever notice watching her sleep how sometimes she's really in a sound sleep and other
Yes,
times?
sure.
Just kind of tossing it.
Yeah, that's when she's in a light sleep. Well, when she starts trying to learn new skills, her central nervous system will wake her up at night when she comes up into the light sleep because she'll want to practice what she's learning in the daytime.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
You may not think that's
May
cute.
not be at 3 a.m.
But a lot of
have to
parents,
remember that.
a lot of parents worry and they say, "Oh, I had her sleeping, I had her eating. Now
Right.
I must be doing something wrong. What's wrong? Maybe she's
Right.
sick. I'll take her to the doctor." But if she looks fine and she's doing fine, it's probably about development. Because when they start working on a new skill, they kind of just get blinders on and they're just working on that one skill. They don't want to eat. They don't want to sleep. They don't really want to engage with you necessarily. They want to practice that over and over until they really master it. And for the 3 or 4 days or maybe a week before she masters it, she'll just fall apart. She'll just become disorganized and cranky and not eating and not sleeping. I mean, you're going to think she's sick probably.
Okay.
But just remember, that's about development.
Oh, good. That's good to know.
Okay? I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again.
I
Maybe
know.
next month I'll see if I can come back and we'll
we
talk
would love
more.
That'd be great.
that. We'd
Okay,
love
good.
that. Thank
Good.
you.
You're welcome.
I hope you enjoyed our program. Join us next time on another episode of Positive Parenting Today as we continue to get to know families in our community and learn from their parenting experiences. We will continue to explore the touch points of child development as well as bring you topics relevant to the most rewarding role you will ever have, being a parent.